Shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kudash. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Uh, this will be a short video, probably about 10 minutes, but just wanted to do a short, quick lesson on to basically a warning or to look out for this new C variant or C subvariant that they're calling well, let's just go into it. I'll just read a little bit of this article from the Today News. Saw it came out yesterday, and I wanted to do a video on it, but didn't get the time to. But saw it this came out yesterday. I forgot. I think it's the Evening News with Nora O'Donnell or something like that. That's this came out. So there's a new C subvariant that they call the EG.5 or Eris. And when I saw that word Eris, when I saw it on the news yesterday, that immediately made me think, I know that and I've heard that before. Because I remember taking a Greek mythology class in high school, and I'm like, you know that name from somewhere. And the spirit stirred me up, and I started looking up things online. So now they have a new variant out there that they're calling EG5, which is called Eris. And you see, again, the natural man would just look at it as like, oh my God, there's an issue, there's a problem, oh, it's coming back. And my mother was acting in that same way when she heard about it. She was panicking. She's like, oh my God, it's back again. We got to go back to the mask thing and things like that. But me, being the spiritual man that the Lord has, and not just me, but you brothers as well, that the Lord has been building us up to be, the spiritual man, go look up what that name Eris means. Go look into it, see what that's about, and see what they're planning to do, right? Or try to get an idea. So that's what came out yesterday, and it's becoming popular, I'm guessing, now. But when you go into Eris, I just looked up Eris definition now. Obviously, it's a dwarf planet, one of the planets out there that they call, but also it goes back to a Greek god. It says, when you look at this one, it says, who is Eris the goddess of? And it says, let's just go into it, right? There's a Greek god called Eris. And it says, Eris is the Greek goddess and personification of discord and strife. She is an unpopular figure in Greek mythology due to her problematic behavior and her ability to stir up trouble wherever she goes. Eris is most famous for her golden apple of discord, which played a key role in the Trojan War. So this Greek god is all about pretty much causing problems, discord, strife, differences amongst people. And it's very interesting that they would call this this new subvariant Eris, which is named after a Greek god that's all about pretty much division, it seems, right? Matter of fact, let me I don't want to lose this, so let me use this instead. Right, here we go. So when you go into Discord definition, you can see their disagreement between people, right? Strife, conflict, friction, hostility, disagreement, right? Disunity, division, right? And when this thing was very popular before, what did that bring amongst people? It brought division. Some people are like, nah, I ain't getting it. Some people are like, you better get it, and things like that, right? So it's very interesting, like I said, how they're coming back, bringing out a basically a subvariant, and they're calling it Eris. Remember, they come up with these names, right? Now, for some people who may watch this video and say, oh, you're a C theorist, I didn't come up with the name Eris. I didn't name it that, right? They named it that, but you have to think about it. And these guys have the history and things like that. They, Greek mythology and all that. Why would you name a subvariant, right? If this thing is so deadly and toxic and crazy, why would you name this after a Greek goddess called Eris that has to do with discord, disagreements, and things like that? Why? Like, what type of message are you sending out there to the people of what you're trying to prepare them for? Because to me, I meditated on it. It sounds like they're trying to stir up trouble again. It sounds like they're trying to stir up more problems, more discord, like it says, or let me see one of the synonyms here: strife or conflict or hostility between people. For them to name that, you have to understand words carry a vibration, right? There was an experiment done with with water. A individual put had 2 cups of water, and one of the waters, with one of the cups of waters, he spoke pretty much hateful words into it. And when he went back to the water, when he uncovered it, I believe he covered it with like plastic. He spoke some like, I hate you, you're nothing, and things like that. When he spoke into the water, and I believe he covered it with plastic. And when he came back to it, the water looked pretty much dirty, like it had dirt in it. But then when he spoke life, pretty much good words into the other water, I love you, you're great, you're amazing, the water was fine, it seems, or it even seemed a little bit more, for lack of a better word, vibrant to it, right? So words carry a vibration. Words don't just mean nothing at all. Words are just not nothing at all. If I'm not mistaken, in Matthew the 15th chapter, Yahushua, the Messiah, talks about how, your words pretty much, in so many words, expose the type of mentality that you have. So words aren't nothing. Your words show what type of person you are, whether you're going to be wise or whether you're wise or whether you're a fool. So now again, let's think about it. Why would you name this subvariant after pretty much a goddess of discord or confusion and things like that, a god of separation? You got to really think and analyze and look at that and be like, yo, what's up with that? Right. And then obviously it's part of Greek mythology. It says Eris is most famous for her golden apple of discord, which played a key role in the cause of the Trojan War. Eris is the daughter of Nyx or Zeus. Hopefully I said that right. I believe it's Nyx. Or Zeus, and Hera, the sister of Ares, the Greek god of war, who she often accompanied into battle, riding alongside him in his chariot. So she seemed this god of discord and war and this god of discord, right? The mythology, the story behind it is that Ares and her were often near each other and things like that, which is interesting because that's what you want during war. You want discord, you want differences. If you're going to war, which Esau is going to war on the people, you're going to want the people divided. You're going to want the people separated because it's easier to pick them off, right? So, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Spirit just told me, not really remembering the story too well, but if my memory serves me right, I believe that's what Joshua did. If I'm not mistaken, at Ai, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he send the Israelites to attack the city a little bit, and then pretty much once he drew them out of the city and things like that, that's when the other Israelites from behind came and destroyed the city, and then pretty much the army of, if I'm not mistaken, of Ai didn't know what to do because they were surrounded and things like that. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Salaki if I'm mistaken about that. But I do remember a story like that with Joshua and the Israelites. But that's what you want to do during war. It's not always about just brute forcing it, even in football, right? Or you could use whatever sport, right? Now I'm gonna use football because it's a little bit easier to explain this for me, at least. Look at with football, sometimes when you're running the ball, right, the offensive linemen attack the defensive linemen. They go straight towards the defensive lineman, and they go straight towards the lineman to the second level, then the third level, or whatever. Right, the third level will be where the defensive backs and things like that. Second level is linebackers. First level is linemen. Right, but they go attack the opposing team and go look for somebody to block. Right, but let's just say there's something called in football screen plays. You have running back screens, tight end screens, receiver screens. And what you do is you have to bait the lineman in. So what you would do to bait the lineman in is the lineman would count like 1,000, 1,000, 2, 1,000, I believe it is. And they would like act as if they're passing, like it's a pass play. They're blocking, which it is a pass play, but they'll act like they're doing their regular pass protection, bait the lineman in, and then go out and look for someone to block. And then the quarterback will just dump the ball off to the running back or the receiver or tight end, whoever. And then it can get, usually those plays can amass for a good 15, 20 yards if it's blocked well, right? So what you do is you pretend like you're doing your regular pass play, and then you bait the defensive lineman in because they're rushing in, And then once you bait them in, you leave them alone. You go out there and look for the lineman will go out there and look for someone to block, and then you dump it off to the running back. But you have to make sure that you bait the defensive lineman, and you have to sell it really well. And like I said, if it's sold really well, it can go for about 15 to 20 yards if it's done right. And if it's excellent, it's a touchdown. But again, just giving that example of in war, it's not always about brute force and going at a team like with a simple running back play or a simple like a dive, right? Go up the middle, just shoot up the middle and try to get as many yards as you can or run at the defense. No, sometimes deception is needed in things. And I'm using football as an analogy because it's pretty much like a war sport, right? So sometimes in war, you want to be deceptive and bait someone in and then say, oop, just dump the ball. And it's like, ah, shit, I fell for that trap. Damn. And now they got like 15 yards or 20 yards in the first down or whatever, right? So it's just going back to this with this Eris goddess mythology thing. She always accompanied, it seems like, Ares, the god of war, and things like that. And, like I was saying, war is not always about just brute force destroying. Sometimes deception, discord, strife is needed in war as well. So let me get some precepts, and Lord's willing, this will be edifying. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? And devices mean the plans or schemes, right? So when I saw that, the Spirit immediately hit me, because again, we're not ordinary men, we're not average men. So anything that comes out in the news or things like that, we have to look at it with a spiritual eye and see, what does this mean? And the gears started turning. The Lord had the gears start turning when I heard that, because I'm like, again, like I said, I took Greek mythology class in high school. I'm like, and also I played God of War, so I remember this. Well, the original God of War, if you played those three with Kratos when he was murdering the Greek gods. So automatically the gears started turning. I'm like, this, you remember this from somewhere. You just need to be refreshed because you haven't gone through it in a while. So once I looked it up, I'm like, it started coming back and things like that, right? So where the Heavenly Father has us observing and seeing the things that Esau Edom is doing and things like that, and saying, what is he trying to do? What does this mean? What's that mean, right? Pretty much we're questioning what he's doing, right? For we are not ignorant of his devices. We know these things that come out, like the other variant that they had at one point when this thing was early in its stages, or when it was fresh and new. They had the Delta, and the Delta meaning in Greek mythology change, you know. So, you have to watch what they do and see what they do. You can't be ignorant of what they like to do, because you know that he's trying to get an advantage of us, right? Again, in war, again, gonna use football analogy here. Sometimes as a let's just use like Ray Lewis. I think a lot of people would know Ray Lewis and things like that, right? Linebacker for the Ravens. I believe he played for like 17 years in the league. Ray Lewis would sometimes call out, sometimes as a linebacker, if you see the way the offensive line is positioned, the offense is positioned, what formation they're in and things like that. And obviously, if you study film, you can look at the offense and say, hey, as a linebacker, sometimes you'll see them, they'll do that. They'll call out a play and say, watch the screen or something, or watch the dive, watch the counter and things like that, right? And that's what we're spiritually doing. We're like that, the linebacker out there on the field saying, hey, watch that. That could be something right there, right? And you'll alert the defensive lineman, shift over a little bit, shift to the A gap a little bit, watch the A gap. So just in case if it's a dive, you don't shoot up in there, that's your responsibility. The A gap is yours, right? You're pretty much like quarterbacking. The linebackers are like the quarterback of the defense sometimes. Sometimes the safeties can be, but that's mostly a linebacker thing, right? And as a linebacker, you could situate people in the right spots to prevent a play from having success, right? You could shift the linemen to where you want them to be. You could shift your linebackers. You could tell the DBs, hey, get back a little bit. It might be they might be going, especially on the down distance, they might be going for a certain a deep play or whatever, or maybe a play action, try to catch us off guard. So The linebackers act as the quarterback of the defense, looking out for things. And spiritually, that's the analogy I'm trying to make the connection here. We're like the spiritual linebackers on the field, looking out for saying, "Hey, watch that. Watch the running back. Watch if he goes out on. Watch if there's a screen. They might do a screen over there, right? Depending on the down and distance." So it's the same thing with linebackers. They're not ignorant of what the quarterback or what the what the offense is trying to do and things like that. I also got First Thessalonians. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1 says, "But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." So when the Lord Yahweh Shai comes back, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he's going to come back when people least expect it. That's why I gave as a thief in the night, right? A thief comes in the night when what people are sleeping and when you're not expecting things, right? To thief your materials and things like that, right? Sorry if I said a little weird there. Caribbean accent came out, but they come to steal your objects, your possessions, and things like that at night, right? When you least expect it, and that's how the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to come back to the earth when people least expect it. It says, verse 3, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So the same way when a woman is getting close to that time when she's about to have the baby's going to come out, but you just don't know when the water is going to break, is pretty much how people are going to be, right? A woman is, she's pretty much calm. She knows that the child's going to come eventually, but she just doesn't know when that water is going to break. And when that water breaks, if you watch movies, they'll be like, "Oh shit, fuck, oh my God, the baby's coming. Oh my God, honey, get the car, we gotta go." And then, they usually in these movies, they'll have the man fumbling around like, "Oh shit, I don't know what the fuck to do." He's jiggling the keys in the air and things like that. That's pretty much how people are going to be when destruction and things like that come upon the earth, right? It gave the analogy as a woman with child. They're not going to know what to do when, for lack of a better word, that spiritual water breaks, when all hell breaks loose, right? Right now, people are saying peace and safety. They think that everything is all copacetic, that everything is all fine, but there's going to come a day when everything is not going to be all fine, and that's when they're going to be caught out there, right? And they shall not escape, right? They're going to be caught out there. Verse 4, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief." Why? "Ye are all children of the light and children of the day." What does the light and the day represent? Our minds are illuminated. We've been woken up. We see what's going on. We know what's going on, right? Hence, again, giving the difference, just giving, not trying to put myself on any level, but just to give the example between myself and my mother. When she heard that, oh, there's another variant and things like that, she was like, "Oh my God, we got to go back to the mask thing and all this." Me, the spirit, had the gears turning, saying, "Go look into that and see what's going on." So you see, we are children of the light and children of the day. The Lord has opened up our minds. Our gears are turning. So we see what we see and we know what's going on. Like I brought on 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And like I gave the example with a linebacker. A linebacker is looking, he's seeing, he knows what's up with the offense and things like that. Why? Because he studied film. And in a sense, we are studying film. We are studying our enemies and saying we know what they like to do. We know how they like to the little schemes and the tricks that they like to do. So, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. Just like how a linebacker would dictate his defense and keep them aware at all times on things and what to watch and look out for, right? Or depending on what formation the offense is in. So our eyes are awakened. Now imagine a person who didn't watch film goes out there. They're gonna be like, "Oh shit, I don't know what to look out for. I don't know what their formations, what plays they like to run in this formation or that formation." He's in darkness. He doesn't know. He's gonna get caught out there. He's gonna get exposed. And then eventually the coach's gonna be like, "Hey yo, you didn't watch film, man? Like you just look like a chicken with your head cut off out there." Because he didn't study film, because he wasn't watching film, he doesn't know what to look out for. But the linebacker that did study film, he knows what to look out for. That's why he's going to make those calls, and he's going to be better situated for whatever plays they bring out. So verse 5 again says, "Ye are all children of light and children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness, which the night or darkness could represent ignorance, not knowing what's going on. Like I gave the example with the linebacker that didn't study, that didn't watch film, he don't know what the hell he's doing out there. But the linebacker that did study and watch film, he knows what he's out doing out there. Right? Verse 6, it says, let us not, sorry, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Right? So just giving the example, like what the Spirit had me do with the news, you got to watch the news and see what's going on and keep an eye to see what these guys are planning. Remember, the media is pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, that goes back to the word medium, which is like the middleman. Whereas the media is like the mouthpiece for the elites, what they plan to do and things like that, what's their next step and things like that, right? So you got to watch the news and keep an eye out on what they're planning to do and things like that, right? And it says, and be sober. Now, a person who is sober is the opposite of a person who's drunk, obviously, right? So you want to have a clear mind, a clear head on your shoulders to be aware, to watch and see what's going on, right? As they say, keep your head on a swivel, right? Be circumspect, to look around, right? If you're drunk and if you're drunk, you can't keep your head on a swivel, right? You're going to be staggering. You're going to be all over the place, right? And that's how a lot of people in the world are today. They're drunk and they're staggering all over the place. So when things happen, that's why they don't know what to do. They act like, just like how a drunk person who is staggering is going to act. They're all over the place. 1 minute they're here, 1 minute they're there, like, and it's like, yo, man, like, get a hold of yourself, chill out for a second, right? That's how people are going to act. But the person who is sober, the person who's watching, they're calm, they're focused, right? So that's all. Just want to pretty much put on game through the Spirit. Pretty much put people, brothers and whoever sisters watch these videos on alert, just to watch out for this new Eris. This EG.5, I believe they call it, which is the Eris variant. Just to look out for, see what goes on. Eris going into the Greek goddess of discord and strife. So let's see what type of energy they're trying to put out there and things like that with this new sub-variant that they have coming up. So I pray that this video is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elect. Shalom.